Good evening, and welcome to this recording of Chicago Airwaves Horror Thursday segment. Once again, I am your host, Crowley. Get comfortable in your seat in the car, train, office chair, or bed. Turn off the lights if possible, and make sure nothing unholy is watching you from the dark corners of your eyes as we explore Emma Mildritch's phenomena in the Northcliff Hell House. Viewer discretion is advised. Good evening, caller. You are on Chicago Airwaves. Please state your full name and your relation to the horror.
Hi, yes, I'm Emma Mildritch. I wanted to discuss the Northcliff Hell House and my experience in it.
Excellent, Miss Mildritch. We are your captive audience.
We had a song growing up in Northcliff.
Excuse me, Miss Mildritch. For our viewers, please inform us where Northcliff is.
It's a suburb outside of Chicago. Everyone grew up hearing about the Hell House. We even had a nursery rhyme about it.
Might I request a rendition of the song?
Let me just turn to that page.
Miss Mildritch, you are not reading this from a third account.
No. My therapist told me to start journaling to cope with what happened. I have my journal with me to make sure I don't miss any details.
Please continue.
Lady of the house, lady of the house, lady of the house, so cruel. Lady of the house, lady of the house, lady of the house, a tool of Satan himself. While you're burning in hell, we will call you through glass to break the spell with our ass. We were singing the nursery rhyme while walking up the road. Me, my college boyfriend James, Sarah, and her boyfriend Adam. Adam was the one who suggested a picnic at the Hell House for a double date. The house looked wrong. Time had made it lean in places and stand asymmetrically straight in others. The front porch had 2 holes for windows and a curved, cracked door, red in its previous life. The rest was either already decayed to a brown mold color or had scratches of white paint left. The few steps going to the door cracked a little under Sarah's weight. The wood everywhere in the house did, through the entrance with the slashed portraits and all the turned-back graffiti, through the first real room with the pentagram and the bunny skeleton. The floor squealed where she pressed her body onto it. The second real room straight from the entrance had the cracked mirror attached to an ancient, pristine dresser. It had carvings on it of a beautiful woman who in the moonlight looked just like Sarah before she became a bodybuilder. She argued it looked like me. The boys were unpacking the picnic basket. I think it had a J.C. LaRue champagne, Sarah's favorite. The 2 of us inspected the dresser to see who it looked like really. Sarah caressed the figure of the woman. That must have been her, I said. She was admired. I wish a guy would make something like this for me, Sarah said. I'm sure she saw Adam shake his head at her. But I don't know. I read she had a lot of offers. Guys would apparently come from all over with gifts. A gypsy son made that thing, James said. I heard that she made this herself, I answered. Salem witchblood. No, Adam chimed in. She bought it from a eunuch from Russia. He was trying to be funny. No one laughed. James came from behind and pulled me onto the picnic blanket. He must have said something flirty at that point, but I can't remember really. I heard she is in constant pain, Adam said. Me too, James agreed. I talked to the last person who came here, Adam gloated. Sarah groaned at him. You went to prison to talk to a murderer? But did he kill them, or was it the lady of the house? Another Adam attempt at humor. I wanted the lore from the source, you know. He called her the aging corpse because she first comes out all gross-like and in pain, but after killing a person she becomes like younger and more of a person. He said she looked less hurt, but there's a cool down. You should really stop playing so many video games, Adam, Sarah interrupted. He stayed still for a moment, just glaring at her. As I was saying, she only has 5 minutes before she is sucked back into the mirror world. The only way to win is giving her the youth of 2 men, or escaping through the attic. He said she killed 2 of his buddies so he could just walk out the front door. Well, then he started screaming, so take that with a grain of salt. Sarah rolled her eyes before she sighed, took my hand, then James's. She motioned to Adam to do the same. Let's get this over with. I have a math class in the morning. Come on, babe. Don't be a downer. Do you guys want Emma and me to give you a sec? James asked. A yes from Adam and a no from Sarah came out simultaneously. Let's give them a sec, I agreed. James took my hand and we went to the pentagram room. Man, I'm glad we worked through our issues, James said. I didn't answer. What's wrong? He asked. This place just creeps me out. I only partially lied. We don't have to be here if you don't want to. He fidgeted in his pocket while he smiled at me. I could see he was still in love. I felt bad that I wasn't. The 2 were still fighting when James told them we should just do the ritual and go home. Adam was disappointed. We gathered in a semicircle in front of the mirror, the way it was supposed to be done, according to Adam's prison interview. We said the ritual words, Woman of hell, I release you from the spell, and after the 4th time...
I'm sorry, Miss Mildritch, but I'm certain you must have written it in greater detail, and our listeners would be intrigued to hear the ritual performed as it was.
I don't think I can go through that.
Miss Mildritch.
Woman of hell, I release you from the spell. Woman of hell, I release you from the spell. Woman of hell, I release you from the spell. Woman of hell, I release you from the spell. A woman appeared in the mirror. She didn't look much older than us. Oddly pretty. The way she was before. Until flames engulfed her. She looked at us with sympathy in her eyes. Her finger tapped the glass. First came the screams through the cracks in her mouth, but it sounded like an old woman with holes in her throat. We saw her body agonize into something closer to a corpse than a person. She pressed onto the mirror, then hit her arms against it. Again. 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 Until her arms sliced through the glass, cutting wide red gashes into them. She slithered through, the mirror cracking in new places and every crack cutting her body in the process. Inch by inch until she stood, exhausted in front of us. Air pumping in and out of the tears in her neck. Bones fractured out of her legs and arms. Black hair inked down her face. The lady of the house's voice was a manifestation of her appearance. I think she said she cannot take the pain anymore. She was sorry, but she needed 2 lives to release her from it. She gave us 1 minute to decide, or she would start hunting. Please, please, don't make me, is all I can make out. We sprinted through the pentagram room, now glowing yellow, through the entrance, but the door, the windows, they were gone. The attic, Adam said. I looked back through the room and saw her flowing through the air, her steps silent and morbid. We ran up the stairs into a hallway. I just remember flashes of white walls and room after room leading to a staircase at that moment. I swear I saw a little girl in one of the rooms crying. I don't know. As we got closer to the staircase, I looked back and she wasn't there. She's not following us. We stopped. Where the hell can she be then? I don't remember who asked that. I just remember them all standing with their back to the attic staircase, seeing her gray legs with bone shrapnel protruding coming down the stairs. She even smiled at me. I could swear she mouthed, "I'm sorry." I rushed past the others. The lady of the house's eyes widened, but where the whites of her eyes should be, it was just black. No, 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 the lady begged. I smashed the door in her face before she could reach us. Help me, idiot, is all it took before the others realized she was on the other side of the door. The mirror made a clang downstairs, her shrieks reaching its peak. Then nothing. The upstairs looked different. It was now red, carpeted, and had gas lanterns burning from the wall. We opened the door to the stairs, but the stairs were gone. A wall with graffiti stood there. Something along the lines of, "We came to this house and found nothing," or "We survived the not-so-haunted, haunted house." Truth be told, I didn't look very hard. Sarah suggested we try the front door too quickly for me to read them. The windows were still gone, but the door stood there, painted yellow. Adam fell back on his lock-picking habits. He used to steal cars as a teenager and... Never mind, it doesn't matter. Adam twisted at the knob. The door creaked ajar.
Miss Mildritch, do we still have you on the line?
Then we heard her screams and the shattering of glass. The door closed. James and I ran up the stairs, but when Adam tried to, Sarah grabbed his arm. "Sarah, what are you doing?" We all shouted something along those lines at her. "I give you Adam," Sarah squealed when the lady of the house entered. Adam broke free from Sarah's grip too late. The lady was in front of him. James put his hands over my eyes right after I saw the lady dislocate her jaw. He pulled me away and we ran. I could only hear Adam's shrieks and a door opening and closing. The second floor had deformed again. The rooms bigger and longer. The hallways were impossibly claustrophobic in purples and blacks.
Excuse me, Miss Mildritch. I believe earlier you only mentioned one hallway.
Yes, there was just one hallway earlier.
This being was able to change so much of her domain. Fascinating. Please continue.
We followed the first one to the attic stairs door, but this time it was leading to a staircase going down and the lady running up, younger, faster. She hunted us down the hallway. I swear she kept saying, "I'm sorry," over and over again. The gashes in her throat made it hard to focus on running and understanding. She was gaining on us, closer and closer, closer, until she didn't. The mirror clinked, and two shadows with holes for faces heaved her away. She grabbed anything she could to stop them, but they broke her hands. When she screamed, they held her mouth shut. She was crying in the last few seconds. We followed the other hallway to a door, the same graffiti, and waited. "It's been 7 minutes," James said. "I think the breaks are longer now, since..." Adam... "Yeah," I agreed. "You remember our first date?" he asked with the stupid smile I used to find cute. "You want to remember how you puked in my car?" He took my hand, lifted my chin to meet his eyes. "I want to remember all the moments with you," he said. "Well, maybe we can forget the lady from hell chasing us." He laughed at his own joke. "Look, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I was hoping he was going to break up with me. And tonight, I don't want to waste another second." He got down on one knee, to my horror, and asked me to marry him. I wanted to tell him we should talk about this after we escaped the hell house, but I also didn't want to lie to him in what could be our last minute. "I think we should break up." Cling, the mirror. The hallway expanded, taking us with it, 30 yards from the door. I ran, he didn't, tears on his cheeks. I have never been so pissed at him before. He forced me to break up with him and then stood there like a dead, drowned puppy. I had to drag him the first few steps. The lady of the house's appearance down the hall encouraged him to be quicker. We slammed the door behind us. There was a key on our side. She squealed when the click of the lock went into place. The attic was the antithesis to the rest of the house. Clean, fresh air, normal. But most importantly, it had a big round window you could open. James checked to see if the window was safe. He nodded to me, no words, just a nod. He put his one foot out, then his right arm. He held out his left to me. I reached for his hand. She grabbed me. She dragged me down the stairs.
Her hands. What did they feel like?
Have you ever had a fever that made you cold? You're warm, but so cold you shiver?
Yes.
I don't want to elaborate more. I don't want to go through it again. Even just going through this whole radio thing, I think I made a mistake.
Miss Mildritch, read from your journal, please.
Her hands were like the fever I described, but her grip felt weak. She was sweating. Some of it dripped onto me. She was struggling to run, but she was determined enough to push through the coughs of blood from her neck wounds. James ran after me, but this time she had the key and locked him in.
You did not fight against her?
Yes, but anything I did to her didn't matter. Clawed her, bit her.
Her weak grip.
It felt weak, but I couldn't escape it. She kept apologizing to me the entire time. I don't want to suffer anymore, and I'm so sorry for you were the only words I could make out. I don't remember anything past her putting me down the mirror, horizontal on the ground with black candles dripping onto it from a chandelier. James was still up in the room. I would later find out he was thinking about leaving me there, escaping. I wouldn't be able to blame him if he did. I know he got through the attic door. I don't know how. When I saw him again, his hands were bloody, but I can't say if it was from the door. The hallway was different again. He snuck along the walls, heard whispers. Inside the first room, a little girl was talking to her mother. She discussed her asthma, how she just wants to go out and play for more than a few minutes at a time. The next room had the girl a little older. He guessed 10. She was walking with antique crutches, her mother helping her not to fall. The next room had her in a wheelchair, around 16 years old, staring at a blank, white wall. She turned to look at him. Every inch she turned, she grew older, and male arms germinated from the walls. First their hands, then their arms, then the 19th century weapons they were holding. When James made eye contact with her, she must have been in her late 20s, with the weapon smashing into her shoulders. "Save her," she said. The hallway reverted to its original layout while he sprinted to the mirror room. The lady of the house held my unconscious body in her arms in the manner of a human sacrifice to the mirror altar. I woke up with his corpse next to me, and the words I just told you written on his corpse with, I'm assuming, her nails as a pen. She was gone, and the house was back to its decayed normal.
Were there any changes to the mirror cabinet?
1. The carving of the lady of the house was gone, replaced with 2 carvings. Adam, James.
Thank you for listening, dear audience members. We hope to bring you more podcast recordings of our Horror Thursday segments, but a greater audience is a necessity. Please give us a positive rating if your podcast service allows, and invite your fellow horror mavens to join our community. Until the next episode, I am Crowley, and search the dark corners of your life. Who knows what might be lurking out of sight?